Ever since they've achieved true spaceflight, as in started to colonize other worlds, a species known as human has been looked down on by the galactic community, mostly because they insist on infighting and will gladly tear each other apart simply for ideological reasons, if nothing else. Not resources, not territory, not even for a mate, even though that does happen. It is more on superficial means and reasons, most of which most of the galactic community cannot understand nor cares about. But the one thing that humans have brought to the galactic stage is their ability to do nefarious things, abhorrent things, at a very cheap price. As humans do not fully understand galactic currencies just yet, it is very simple for many of the more undesirable personnel to get a hold of humans and get them to do things that would make even a Gavarian puke. But you can also pay them almost nothing to do it. It was known that you could have them do the dirtiest deeds at a very dirt cheap price, and sometimes literally just dirt. As several of the community inside this establishment talk about how they're trying to smuggle equipment across human held sectors of space so that they can aid in the appropriation of certain equipment. They had to decide how they're going to do this. Humans, for all their faults, are also very territorial. So they simply decided to go on their best resort to hire a human. The human who sat down across them was not very appetizing to look at. A lot of hair, something that is almost strictly a human thing, looked at us. Hair on its face, on its head, even on its exposed arms there was hair, which made most of us disgusted at the sight. There was also the smell. For some reason it was almost musky, and it made all of our quills stand up slightly. It was though the human was simply telling everyone how dangerous it was just by sitting there. Yet it moved not one bit. It said not one word. It simply looked at us and nodded its head. This was an understanding that it knew that it was here for a meeting and that it should not speak first. It sat there staring at us, and without skipping a moment, my partner simply addressed him. "So, human, we have a job for you, and we will pay you to deliver these goods across human sector. And here is the map that you will follow, the route, and the ways that you must travel. You must also pick up these certain items and drop off these certain items." "So it's a delivery run," the human said. "Not quite, human. What you are going to be picking up is not to be noticed by any of the authorities in the human sector." The human simply looked over the list as he continued. "And human, you will do this as efficiently as we expect you to. And, as you can see, you are being paid quite well." He moved one of his eye stalks over to kind of give a side glance to his partner, realizing that what they were actually paying him was nothing. Pennies on the dollar was a human phrase that they had started to understand, and they were barely even paying partial pennies on the dollar for this job compared to what they would have to pay others. The human simply looked over the data display, pulled up the holographic map, and started manipulating it. "So, human, do we have a deal?" He stuck out one of his claws. These small claws were only about the size of an average human palm, yet they knew that this was a way of guaranteeing a deal. They waited for the human to, as they put it, shake his hand, but the human continued to look across the datapad. The holographic display continued to spin it around, look through it, and as he scrolled through, his eyes suddenly got wide and leaned forward towards it, as though it couldn't believe what it was reading. "You want me to deliver what? Are you high?" Human, we know that you are good at your job, and we know that you are able to do this. Yeah, I could do this, but are you crazy? Are you? They even get a sniff of this, and I'm a dead man. Hell, half a planet's dead if this thing goes off. Human, keep your voice down. I will not keep my voice down. You want me to bring neutronian isotopes across a celestial body? Are you nuts? Are you seriously insane? Do you have any idea the risk of this exploding? And if it explodes, you know what it does, right? Or are you just that dumb? Human, do not test me. You will be paid extremely well for this. Paid well? Yeah, that's bullshit. With that, everyone at the table suddenly went back as they understood this human idiom. They knew the human realized that he was being played. You want me to drag this stuff across Terran Hill territory where they're going to inspect every part of this ship. They're going to scan it probably 50 times before I even get close to the halfway point. And guess what? If they even get a sniff of it, they're going to pull my ship apart piece by piece to make sure I don't have any of this. And then you want me to pick up... Hold on. The human began to scroll more. You want me to pick up what? And... Are you seriously? Have you lost what's left of your brain? The first one, who had not spoken. Human, you will listen, and you will listen well. You are again being paid. You have already been commissioned for this job. You will do this. We know that you humans are more than willing to do dangerous acts like this, just out of sheer enjoyment. We know you enjoy doing work for us. I do not see a problem. Yes, human, just simply do this job. You are getting paid, and we have already gotten ready to transfer the credits. Fuck your credits! With that, everyone again took back as they realized that the human was more than a little mad. The human stood up, dropping the data pad. You can find someone else because you want me to drag this stuff, probably the most dangerous item in the known galaxy, across gravitational fields where it's going to explode. Then you want me to pick up a bunch of your own sex slaves. You want me to bring them back? And it says right here, completely undamaged, unharmed, and holy shit. Wow. No wonder you're not hiring your own people. Do you have any idea how fast they'd be on top of these women? We're not doing that. And have you even looked at Terran territory lately? Do you have any idea how strict they're getting on security? Human, we understand that you have some trepidation. So how about if we double your pay? Double my pay? I know how much you're trying to play me on this. The human simply turned and walked away. Human, stay. I'm not your lapdog. As the human raised its hand as it walked away, keeping its fist clenched, and then raising one finger to the sky as it went, and continued to walk away. Now what do? We simply find another human. There's always a human that will do this. To their dismay, it seemed like every human that was ever brought for this job turned them down almost instantaneously. They did not understand this until they realized what had happened to a few of their pirate vessels. In the course of a single human year, 38 of these pirate vessels had either been captured or destroyed outright. They tried to smuggle all sorts of items across and were always trying to avoid the security teams that were on each of these planets. What they did not realize is that humans had gotten a hold of many of the items that had been traded or smuggled. Information is always worth a lot of money. It's always worth a lot of resources. What they had not realized is that the humans had used all their resources to scan everything. If it was a working engine, if it was a new type of weapon system, new type of shielding, a new type of suit, maybe some sort of weapon system, maybe some type of medical technology, construction equipment. It didn't matter. The humans had always scanned it, and they sold it to the highest bidder, and the highest bidder was always the planetary governments. The planetary governments, in many cases, would pay them off with large pieces of land, territory, and we all know how protective humans are of their territories. And with this, the humans had taken this technology, analyzed it, reverse engineered it, and made it better. Now, everyone looks at human space with a little bit of fear. At first, they had looked at it as though it was a joke. Humans, these funny little squishy bipeds, how could these furry things even consider standing up and facing the rest of the universe and saying, this is our territory, do not cross this line? But humans had. Human ships were now just as fast, just as strong, and hit just as hard as any ship out there. There was a time where humans would do anything dirt cheap. The rest of the universe had played them like puppets or strings on a musical instrument, and simply laughed at the idea that they were getting richer as humans were now being kept in the dark, not realizing that the humans had switched the flip on them and now had created something that was truly worrisome. Maybe not terrifying yet. At least, not yet. And when this was brought up in front of the Galactic Senate, they asked the humans simply, why did you do this? Why would you trick us like that? Why would you deceive us like that? The response was simple. You tried to play us for fools. You didn't think that goes the other way around, dumbass?